Today we're talking with my good friends Stephen and Leslie Gleason from Virginia. And after seeing my speech at Build 2022 last year, Leslie said she knew this was exactly what she had been looking for. She had been in the business for 18 years and had been paying for leads the entire time through Realtor and Zillow and other iBuyer platforms, working her sphere. And she was really getting to a point that she was just kind of tired of paying for leads. And just that one talk that I did really resonated with her. She said on the way back on the plane ride, she was feverishly writing down notes, plotting out ideas. I mean, taking in as much information as possible from the other content that we had put out there so she could start absorbing as much as possible. Eventually, she went through the program and that gave her the full picture to allow her and her husband to start creating a channel on their own and start generating leads. And now they are closing business, more deals under contract, and they're in a very small market. So it took a few extra months than they were expecting, but they stayed consistent, and that's the most important part. They just got better, and I love how Stephen tells me that it took him 42 tries on his first video to get it right, but he stuck with it and kept going. And I think you're going to get a lot of insight out of this interview with them because it really shows that it's never too late to get started. Even if you've been in the business for 18 years and you're looking for a change and you want to start generating business to where clients call you because the value you provide and the information that you put out through video allows people to find you and that want to do business with you. Leslie said it's completely changed her life, her business. It got her husband into real estate so he could start helping her as well. And now they said they're having a great time. Plus, they just moved in this market a couple of years ago, so it's still relatively new to them as well. And they're already in a position to where they're creating consistent business from the YouTube videos that they're making about the area. And they said they're just having a blast because for them, they just feel like they're going out and about and enjoying the community anyways, and they're just telling people about it through video. So I know you're going to really enjoy this conversation with them and you'll get some really good insight on what you can implement in your business today. So let's get into it with Stephen and Leslie. All right, so welcome Stephen and Leslie. So good to speak with you today. And just to clarify for everybody, what part of Virginia are y'all in again?
We call it Virginia's mountains and valleys, the most beautiful valley in the entire United States, we think, the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, and then over across the mountain, as we say, into Charlottesville.
Okay. Is that the valley right behind you in that picture?
That is part of it.
That is some of the mountains. You got it.
Okay, good. All right. So we wanted to talk with you today a little bit about your recent success on YouTube. And you started, so we're in what, month 5, month 6 right now, you would say?
Month 5, yes.
Month 5.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some very interesting factors, which I think a lot of people will look as initial challenges because you've been in the business for 18, at least Leslie, you've been in the business for 18, right? Yeah, 18 years. So licensed in 2005, but right. You just moved to Virginia 3 years ago. So some would, some would still consider that a new market. And they would be like, I'm still trying to establish my sphere and everything like that. But also I want to talk about that beginning journey. So let's kind of start with licensing, or not licensing, not all the way back to kindergarten, right? But let's get into licensing. So over the last 18 years, what has been your traditional methods of marketing in real estate?
Well, it's been buying leads.
Okay. from and where do you buy them from?
Well, I used to buy them from Realtor and Zillow.
Okay. Wait a second. You said used to. Are you not buying leads anymore?
I'm not.
Is that because of YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Well, a little bit more to that here in a minute, but okay. So let's get into that a little bit. So you're buying leads from Realtor and Zillow. That's pretty much your primary lead source for the last 18 years or so.
It has been word of mouth. Basically just word of mouth. Where we went to church, a lot of leads came from there. The company that I used to manage for 7 years, transient people moving in and out of the area. And so the gentleman that owned the company would, of course, refer those people to me. So it was the multi-levels of different lead sources.
Okay. And then over that time, you moved to Virginia. So
we did.
All that you've just built up, right? All that sphere and everything is that
right?
Was that what you did again in Virginia? Just find a new church, find new communities, get involved?
Yeah, kind of. I had joined a local agency here on the East Coast at first. When we first moved back, we didn't know anyone here in the Valley. So I knew I was going to have to start somewhere, somehow. And then I ended up getting both knees replaced the year of COVID. And while I was down, he encouraged me to start watching some TikTok. And I saw someone on TikTok who was with EXP. And she, of course, is a video queen. And I was like, okay, I think I need to start looking into switching agencies, going into more video. And so she encouraged me to start doing things on TikTok. And then last year I went to Build 22, saw you in Dallas, where it just resonated because we had done a little bit of a golf vlog video on YouTube years ago. And I was like, you know what? He's going through a job transition. He loves video. And I love doing the house stuff and managing the paperwork and getting all those things together. So I was like, I think we can work this out. And so after I heard your lecture at Build, I was like, it just started clicking. So I ran up to the hotel room, just grabbed the notebook paper and just started jotting down all these things. And the flight back to Virginia, I just started putting things on a note on my phone while I was doing things, and just different ideas and different things that you talked to us about. It just resonated with us big time. And then you giving a one package thing. So the video editing and how to do them and the time frame and the class, it all just really clicked. So he dove down deep in the classroom part of it after I did some of it. And we just ended up saying, if we're going to do this, we're going to go all in. We built the studio and did all the things and took the class and, talked to you guys a lot and was able to make it work, and launching that first video on December 26th.
Wow. Well, that's all. You know what? I didn't even know the build portion of that. I don't believe, but that's really amazing, because sometimes when you get up there, they give you a limited amount of time. I mean, literally I had 20 minutes, and they, when they're running a big event like that, I know that's one of their most important things is start on time, finish on time. It's like, get up there, say what you need to say, get off the stage. We got to move on to the next one. So you're always like, because I could talk for hours on this stuff, and I'm always wondering, like, how can I impact somebody in 20 minutes, to really make a change? But, we talk about this with our team, with our partners, agents in general. You've got to get to these events. These events, you never know if that was the only thing you took away. And I'm sure you took away a lot more. But,
I did.
But if it was.
Honestly, your lecture was the thing that just clicked, whatever you want to call it, for me and for us.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful I got to go.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to hear that. I say the same thing about the book now. I'm like, somebody's going to pick up the book and will make $1 million off that book, and somebody's going to implement it. Some people will need a little bit more, they'll need a little bit more, run through or visual aspects or things, which is why we developed the whole program. But I don't, let's get into more of that. So, okay. So you've been in the business for 18 years.
Right.
Zillow Realtor Sphere of Influence. So what's it like to get and actually let's talk about first. So 6 months, small market. Let's talk about results real quick. Small market, or smaller market, we should say. Your immediate town, 50,000 people, right? But you service.
Well, that's not our immediate town. That's what we service.
Our immediate's 12,000. And
12. Okay. Smaller.
So it's really small.
There are 2 others around that are 25, and then a couple 50s about a half an hour away.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And then you said basically over the 3 counties that you really service, so probably some driving over the mountains and through the woods, right, to get to.
Yes.
Definitely.
Then really cool. Okay, so even smaller. So I was just making up bigger numbers for y'all. So even smaller market. Yeah, so that's cool. So smaller market, been in the business 18 years, and this is where a lot of people will be like, well, I've been doing what I've been doing for so long, right? And some people they'll get stuck in that, but for you, you're like, I know I'm ready for a change. right?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why we moved. I was ready for a change. He was ready for a change career-wise. So we moved back to Virginia. We had originally lived in Virginia for 11 years, but not here in the Valley. It was Northern Virginia. And we both taught school for 18 years. So it's kind of been a divided career for us.
Yeah.
But for me anyway. And so, yeah.
And we always loved it out here. And that's one of the reasons why we moved back. I said, we could retire somewhere, obviously not retire, but
No.
I'd retire to the Shenandoah Valley, and we just love it out here. But as far as the leads and things like that, you would get sometimes good leads with realtor.com or Zillow or Opcity, whatever, but sometimes you wouldn't. And I mean, there's no doubt you can make a living that way, and you can sell that way. The thing that we like about this, though, is when somebody calls us on this, it's like kind of what you said in your videos. They have a feeling that they already know you.
Yeah.
And so there's already a level of trust that's built up to a certain extent. And so you kind of hit the ground running instead of a lot of the normal things that you would go through when talking to that lead for the first time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll dig into that a little bit more. So let's talk about quick success though. So started December 26th. So you're in month 5, month 6, right?
Right.
Yes.
Small market, and started getting some calls initially, probably January, right? I know for us, we saw the beginning of 2023, it was like first 2 weeks, dead silence. And then all of a sudden, last 2 weeks, like one little 0.25% change in interest rates, and everyone's like, okay, let's buy a home. And then February was kind of quiet. March picked back up. April, pretty good. So you probably saw some of those same ups and downs, right? Even though you just started.
Yeah, we did. As a matter of fact, I mean, we were blessed because 5 days after we put our first video out on December 26th, we actually got our first call
Right.
about
5 days.
It was 5 days.
Wow.
And
you beat us. Yeah, you beat us by a long shot.
Well, yeah, we went for a little while after that till we got our second one, but it was interesting because we're still working with that individual.
Right.
You know, they haven't bought anything yet, but it's still in the pipeline, and so that's really neat. But like you say, the interest rates change, and you know, you feel that in the market, and like I say, so once March rolled around is when we really started seeing a big impact. And once we had gotten 30 or 40 videos out, we started at 3 a week, and we're doing 2 a week now. But being consistent is one of our biggest things that we took. If you said it once in your classes, I think you said it about 16 times, that you got to be consistent on your video output each week. Yeah. And so we got our videos ready, and you know, we got them out, and we're seeing that consistency now with people coming in. And as the videos come, it's kind of interesting. Some of our first videos, I know you said some of yours were kind of like you didn't have any hits on them. It's kind of interesting. Some of our first videos are the ones that had the most hits. But I think the other success, I would say, from a real estate point of view, obviously we're starting to get closes. We got people in the pipeline. We got people lined up over the next few months to close. But I think one of the other things, that the undercurrents of the whole thing that is going to help us in the future is that building the videos like we have, there's that constant flow of familiarity with people, and as the audience grows, hopefully the sales grow, you know, and at the same time we have fun and love what we're doing, because we love it up here, and we just have fun doing our videos, you know.
And since we're former educators, we love NHE's history and loving to show everything about the communities that we live in. So the things that you can do, the things that you're going to see, just, you know, maybe a little gem of something. I mean, we get comments from locals who are saying, we didn't know that. Oh, we didn't know that. So, you know, kind of mixing real estate with a lot of community atmosphere as well.
Yeah, that's great. We actually just talked about that a little bit this morning. And we want to start testing that out a little bit. Is starting with a little bit more of the history, the story of these areas. And, you know, a lot of these towns, especially around Dallas, have these little historic downtowns. So, you know, I mean, the history's there. It's just like, have we really explored that? And I know we don't really want to get into history versus real estate, but at the same time, I don't think it hurts. At least we'll find out. But that's what we talked about. Maybe we let people know, hey, we're going to get to some real estate, but we want to give you a little background on the community in the first place, you know, and maybe kind of tell a little bit of a story for, you know, 3 to 5 minutes, just, you know, kind of highlighting some of the cool things around there. And we'll see how that does. And so is that what you've been doing? Have been telling any stories on those videos?
We tell lots of stories.
Yeah.
We're storytellers.
We do, and the area itself tells stories because of the history that we have out here, and of course, University of Virginia, James Madison University. There's just so many different things out here that are, and we did a video, it should be going out this week, about 6 free things to do in the Shenandoah Valley, and it's simple things like there's a potato chip company that you can watch and make their own potato chips there and things like that. But it's just, and it's very popular here in the Valley, and it's just neat things like that I think capture people's attention when you're doing the video.
Because it's such a touristy area and people love to come here to retire, to move here for a slower pace of life, even though we have DC 3 hours away. So they love the convenience of being 3 hours from DC, but not in it. So they get at the major airport, it's close. And the nightlife or whatever they want, 3 hours away if they want to go spend a weekend there. So that is, and we've got the beach too.
3 hours, 3.5
hours away. So we're located in a really cool place where there's, a weekend visit and all the hiking that people can do on the Appalachian Trail, or
Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, we have a controversy on how that's supposed to be pronounced. That's a whole other video on how to talk Virginian, because they say things in cities and towns around here differently than most people would think. So
yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I know we have some of those cities around here as well, so we can get into those debates of pronunciation and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Probably a ton of Civil War history around there as well.
There
is. And what's not here, you just, Gettysburg is 3 hours north of here. And then, of course, you have all the battlefields through Northern Virginia, Manassas, Antietam, and Maryland. I mean, and then right in our area, Battle of Newmarket, and just, it was real interesting. We had never been, even though we'd lived in Virginia for many years, we went over to Antietam, to Appomattox, where they signed the surrender of the Civil War. And that was just really neat. I mean, to see it was just a house that they signed it in, so, but a lot of neat stuff like that.
And let's talk about, and you just closed on your first deal from the channel?
We did on Wednesday. It was 32 days from the very first contact. She just, she was moving here for a job. The wife was, and he's retired already, and he loves to hike. So they were looking to move to the area, and they are a lovely couple. And so it was 32 days from first point of contact to the date that we closed. And that was our very first YouTube lead that has gone and completed. So
that's amazing. And you've got one or two others under contract?
3. Well, we're going to have 3 here soon.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So the compound effect is about to set in.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, that's great. And that's what we really want to emphasize with everyone, is that, I mean, different markets, different circumstances, different situations, but sticking with it, the consistency is what's going to pay off. And would you say with 1 close, 3 under contract, and you've probably got a pretty good pipeline too, right?
We do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you calculated the pipeline value?
I didn't. I was getting ready to and got sidetracked. Sorry.
Okay. But still, I love the 32 days contact to contract, because we love that stat as well. It just really shows how intentional people are whenever they reach out and they're like, hey, I'm ready to go, and you're my person, you're my agent. Isn't that?
Well, she didn't know an agent in the area. She didn't have to use anybody in particular to move here, and so she just hit the Google Shenandoah Valley Realtor, and we popped up, and she resonated with what we were presenting. Yeah. So, are we everybody's cup of tea? No, but we're fun, and we enjoy life, and I love sharing real estate facts and all the things about the area. And so she picked up the phone and called me, and she goes, "Are you the lady on YouTube? Are you the people on YouTube?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Well, I just watched one of your videos and I just love it, and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like we know you." So it definitely, that is the thing that we get the most. We also get a lot of referrals up and down the valley from other agents here in the valley. And we use our YouTube as a tool to show, the referrals, how we do business. And they're like, "Oh, we know so-and-so, let's refer that business to you." So it's not just a direct YouTube hit. It's also a referral from other agents up and down the valley.
Well, one of the things I'm sorry, go ahead, Levi.
I know, I was going to say, I mean, I think this is something a lot of people, they'll say, well, I don't want to share my channel with other agents, because they're not going to move to my area. But I'm like, yeah, but they've got clients that will move to your area. And think about how easy that is for a referral agent to say, hey, check out these guys and their YouTube channel, start researching them. And because I don't know about y'all, but referrals that don't come from YouTube or that come, they're like my worst best nightmare. It's like, because I love the referral, but then to me the expectation is so high. It's like your reputation is even up there even more, and there's still usually not even a true connection there. That you're just another name at that point. It doesn't matter how good this person talks about you. They'll come over, they'll still, you still got to establish that rapport and credibility and just kind of build that relationship. And then it's kind of like, then you got another agent. Hey, how's it going? What's happening? What's going on? So I'm always like, and don't get me wrong, if you're watching this, please refer all your clients to Dallas. But just know that we take extra special care of them too, as well, just because we want to make sure that we don't want to let down that other agent. I mean, we never want to let down our client, first of all, but it's the added pressure to that. But so whenever they can give you the YouTube channel, it allows that person to do more research on their own. And so it kind of primes them a little bit more whenever they come in.
And then we meet people in the public too. And when we're out videoing, the thing that I encourage people to do too is to make business cards for your YouTube channel. And we are in the process of doing that. We haven't. But people are like, what are you guys doing? What are you up to? And when we sit down and we interviewed a couple of people this last weekend who are in charge of some of the major arts, like a theater or a music festival in the area. And we just so happened to bump into them when we were videoing in certain locations. And they're like, what are you guys all about? And we asked them if they wouldn't mind giving us a, 1 or 2 minute
30-second interview.
And they were more than happy to, but handing out those business cards, and they'll get you known in the local area too. And especially since we're in such a small area, it's so much word of mouth.
Yeah.
You're talking too about the capturing your market, and we've seen that as well, and how the YouTube has bled over into Google. And when you pull up, like living in the Shenandoah Valley, Shenandoah Valley wasn't one of necessarily the good search terms when we first started. But now if you put like living in the Shenandoah Valley, the first videos to come up, first 2 or 3 was us, and really got the only videos to come up. And so same way with the towns around. And so really capturing your market like that, that's exciting, because when people do go to Google that way, boom, there you are, and you got a shot at it.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so, and more on that. So you cut out Zillow and Realtor now, right? And,
I have, totally.
And is it just because you just love the YouTube client so much?
That is one of my main reasons, yes. The cost factor. Free leads. Well, they're not free because but yes, definitely. And
you're under your own control,
right?
Yeah, well, it's different
happenstance.
Yeah, plus and like video editing is a fixed cost every month. That's what I like about it is people are always asking, well, what'd you spend on it? I had zero marketing budget, but I had an editing budget from the beginning because I knew I was not going to edit videos, period. And I would have quit after one video if I tried to learn how to edit. So I had an editing budget, and I knew exactly the videos I was going to get from that editing budget. And that allowed me to budget that out for the next, 3-4 months, no problem. And that's what I really highly recommend to people. If you're down to like your last $3,000, which most agents even start the business with less than $5,000 to their name.
Yes.
I would much rather spend that on video editing than marketing, because you could spend $3,000 in real estate marketing and it's gone like that. And then what,
in 1 month.
Yeah. In 1 month. And then you're like, okay, I got, not a lot of good leads, not any hot leads. No, people weren't even in the market. There was, it's a lot. So that's where I would definitely spend it. So now you're working on these. And again, you kind of mentioned they already feel like they know you. What's been some other feedback from the people that reach out to you?
One of the neat things is that we've had at least 2 people that have told us, they said, we're thinking about retiring. And to be honest, he says, the Shenandoah Valley was never even on our radar. until we saw your videos. And man, that looks like a nice place.
Yep.
And so we've been able to meet up with those people and talk to them and help them. I think the other thing, like Leslie said, there's a lot of learning, really try to do a lot of research on the area. And there's just hidden gems all over the place that you can find, just little things sometimes that are just kind of neat, and
so since we're new to the area, we have to do and dive down deep in the research on some things, the neighborhoods, the locations that we're doing. So yeah, I mean, we're doing double duty.
Yeah. And I think also just having fun with your videos is the thing, and being as creative as possible. I mean, not everybody has the same focus or vision as what they want in a video, but like we had one that we put out last week, and it's gotten hit up pretty good so far, and it was 3 mistakes in Stanton. Well, that's the town here, and I've done multiple videos on the town of Stanton. So what I did was went back into Stanton, and this time during my talk about the different places where I was at in Stanton, I would intentionally make a mistake, and then I would also and then I'd have the video freeze after that got done with that section with another link to another video to click on that video where the answer was, and then also and then told the people, so now put in the comments what were the 3 mistakes that I made, so
and we're getting more interaction.
Yeah. And so you're getting a little bit of the
that search.
Yeah. And
so you positioned the first video, you titled that one 3 mistakes.
No, that wasn't. We'd done multiple videos on Stanton, but the one that we just put out was 3 mistakes. The one that we just put out was 3 mistakes of Stanton and in Stanton, and
linking it back to his prior videos that he did on Stanton.
Yeah, so like if after I made the first mistake, I said the name of a park wrong, for example.
So you're making a correction video of previous videos that you.
No. It's so it was. So
all right. I'm gonna get this eventually.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So it's different, and I mean, it just kind of came to me one day, and it seems to work pretty well. So I'm probably going to do it in the other towns as well. But so we've done multiple videos on on the town of Stanton.
Right.
So, for example, I talked about Betsy Bell Wilderness Park. It's a place up on top of a hill in town. You can see the whole town. It's a beautiful place to be. So when I did this video, I talked about the town of Stanton again, and I went into 3 neighborhoods and showed homes in 3 neighborhoods. And I made sure that none of the mistakes were on any of the homes or things like that. Right. But I went to Betsy Bell Wilderness Park. And for Betsy Bell Wilderness Park, I called it Betsy Ann Wilderness Park instead of Betsy Bell, for example. Yep. When I got done talking about that section, the video paused. A link came up to my video where I actually had talked about Betsy Bell Wilderness Park, and during that I said, "Did you catch the mistake that was in there?" And I just did that 2 other times during the video, and it was fun because within 12 hours of the video rolling out, we already had our first response on it. Hey, you had this, and this was wrong. Hey, you got it. So just kind of fun things to do.
Yeah. So I listened to a podcast the other day about this guy going viral, and that was kind of his formula was he specifically makes mistakes in videos, and it's just, but he's talking about more general, I guess, he may say Socrates or something instead of Socrates. Right. I mean, really, really, if anybody ever watched Bill and Ted, they would understand that one.
Oh yeah.
But so he does that intentionally throughout there, and he said that really causes quite a bit of stir in there. So, but it is, people flock to the negative, and people are always looking for ways to get you out there, right?
Yep. They love to correct you.
Oh yeah, yep.
So we thought we'd just give them a reason to.
There you go. Okay, well, interesting. I might have to incorporate some intentional mistakes. I don't know. So we'll just see how that goes. Good. Okay. So let's see. So some success there on YouTube, small market, staying consistent. I mean, really, you're just, you're doing everything right. So what was it like to start, even though you were educators, or you are educators, I would say, teachers for quite a bit of time. What was it like to start out on video? How was that?
Well, it's funny, we still laugh about that because the very first video that I did, you had said, make sure you get your greeting, your intro down, right? And so I had really worked on that, but I wanted to get it just perfect, And so
he's anal that one.
When I went through when I went through the takes the first time, it took me 42 times to get the intro the right way that I wanted it. And so, but it's funny because since then, like you say, it's just second nature now. It just comes and it just rolls off the tongue. But it was so important. And the video didn't scare me or bother me, anything like that. It was trying to figure out how to hold the camera when you're walking down the street to get all the picture in, and then just just a matter of
the angle of the sun on the houses that you're standing in front of, and what side of the street we're going to be on, and doing the B-roll and the angle of the camera so we're not getting the car in the video. And it was just, it's a multitude of things to remember and to practice and do. So don't look at the first videos we did. We now have actual microphones when we're out there, because I guess I talk very quietly, he's very loud, and so that was some of the critique that we had. So we got lapel mics or wireless mics now. So,
and that's been a game changer for us, really. We went up in the Shenandoah National Park last week, and when you can stand 15, 20 feet away from your video on the edge of a cliff or something, and not get pushed and do your video, that's that was a lot of fun. And they've really helped us. The sound quality sounds a lot better as well. But like I say, to get started, I mean, you just got to get out and do it, and whatever your level of comfort is, you're probably going to be the hardest critique on yourself, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's something I had to learn. But it doesn't have to be perfect. But accuracy is important, and then I think it comes across more as your desire to help, and I think that bleeds through, and I think people see that, and there's that genuineness that comes across, because of that.
Yeah, people know you make mistakes, and you're not perfect all the time, and it makes you human. So
Isn't it funny too how people say, "Aren't you that lady?" or "Aren't you that guy on YouTube?" Even though you see your name, I've said my name 1,000 times, and it's still, I run into people all the time. They're like, "Hey, you're the guy on YouTube, right?" It's always like, "You're the guy."
We haven't gotten that yet. I don't think we're that popular yet.
Well, when they call you though, you said they ask if is this
right.
Am I talking to the lady on YouTube? So it's funny. I moved into the new neighborhood, and I was getting rid of boxes, right? So I was breaking down boxes in the garage, and this guy pulls up on his golf cart, and he's like, "Levi?" Like, yeah. And he goes, and he told his wife, he goes, "I told you that was him." He's like, "I love your videos."
That's awesome.
And he's like, "I'm your neighbor, like 2-3 doors down, right there on the corner." And then we started talking. We talked for like 30 minutes. It was funny. And it was funny because another neighbor was blowing his yard, and we're out there, and he stops his blower, and he's like, "Don't you have a YouTube channel?"
That's awesome.
I was like, "Yep." And then, I'm in Chipotle. I mean, so and this Mediterranean restaurant the other day. I mean, this is all like within the last 2 weeks of moving into the neighborhood. So I'm like, all right, I'm really getting some good local penetration. Yeah, this family, I was in line, and they just they're like, "Hey, you're on YouTube, right?" And that's what everybody's initial thing. I mean, people really elevate YouTube.
They do.
I mean, it's pretty interesting. And then the other family, the kid was just, he was like, "Oh man, how many subscribers you got?" He's pulling up my channel. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is so cool." And then he's like, "I wish I could get your autograph, but I don't have a pen."
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, "All right, no." I said, "Hey, it's cool. Just subscribe to the channel." Right? And,
no, it's funny.
You still have the merchandise too.
Yeah. No, it's funny too. One day I was down at one of our rivers here in the area, and there was a father and 2 kids, and they were fishing in the river. And I said, "That's a great picture." I said, "You guys mind if I take a little video real quick?" Yeah, no, that's fine. So, "You got a YouTube channel, watch it." And both the kids turned around and subscribed right on the spot. I mean, they're not going to buy a house or anything like that. We get that, but it's just that power of that, like you say. And I think one of the things that we've just kind of begun to realize, and I don't know if I've heard you talk about this or not, but at least in our area, I feel that we're kind of missing out on something through our videos, because when we talk about these local places, I think what we're going to start doing is start tagging these folks and emailing these people saying, hey, we'll let you know we really appreciate your business. We really loved it. And we featured it in our videos here in the area. And maybe that'll get something between the community and us as well. And might be something.
Word of mouth is huge here in the Valley.
Yeah. There you go. And you're the first ones to market there, so you're capturing. Yeah. I mean, that's the great opportunity. So
to be consistent at it. I mean, there are some videos out, realtors who have done some videos out there, but they're not doing it anymore.
Yep.
And they're not, or they're not consistent at it. And so we do trump them.
And what better way to, I mean, it's so easy. I love, even if on a Saturday, go out, go get coffee, go get brunch, go and then tour that area, put it on video. And then next thing you know, it's lunchtime, grab some lunch. And then after lunch, go out and hit the neighborhood, show some property. And it's like, hey, you got a nice little relaxing day hanging out, but you also get content. I mean, it's just, especially for people moving into new areas, what better way to get to know your area than to experience it and to share that experience with others.
So what we've done is he's done the long form and I do the short form. So I'm putting everything out there on shorts, a blooper, something about the area that we're videoing in. And I put that on YouTube as a short and he does the long form videos.
And I would say too, that was one of the things for us. We really saw our YouTube subscribership and call pick up, and also the calls pick up once we started doing the shorts as well. And at least 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And we saw a difference.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. I mean, amazing story. It was just, it was great hearing all the success. Congratulations. And I'm gonna have to get out there sometime. I mean, you got the mountains. I mean, you got the beach close. I mean, also within a shot. That's definitely, I would say, worth the video. But here I am over here in flat old Dallas. I'm a little jealous right now. So, but congratulations. And anything that I didn't ask you'd like to share to end us out?
No, just thank you. Like I say, for us, we were looking for something to do differently than what we'd done in the past.
It just resonated.
Like she said at the beginning, it resonated with us. It just clicked, and we've had a blast, and contrary to popular opinion, you actually can work with your spouse. And
and not to say there hasn't been some struggles.
but no, we really appreciate it. Your information is great. I love the fact that you continue to not just put the information out there and then just sit on it, but you continue to update people and do your different podcasts and things like that. And those are really helpful. They're a great resource to go back to. And so thanks for all you do as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, guys. Just stay consistent and have fun, really, and the success will come. So see you on the next video.